12th. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. We'll give people 2-3 minutes to join in case they're running late from lunch. I'm seeing a lot of people joining on now, which is great. All right, we'll get started here in another minute or two. All right, another minute and we'll get started. All right. Let's go ahead and kick it off. Got a few more people just jumped in. And we've got a lot to cover, so I want to use the full amount of time we have together. Today is going to be a mixed bag, which is kind of fun. So every now and then you get to clean out the junk drawer, and that's what we're going to do today, to discover some new things and look at some stuff we haven't seen in a while. So if you can't see my screen or have any questions, technical issues, we've got a Sebastian on our team here who's on as a panelist. Feel free to reach out to him as well, and you can try to ping me or wave at me across the computer here. All right, so Wisdom Wednesday, what do we do, right? This is for whether you consider yourself to be a pro in AI or a beginner. The one thing about AI is today you may be a pro, tomorrow you're going to feel like a beginner with how fast this stuff is moving. But it's really just a fun, creative way for us to work together, kind of showcase some different things that are out there. I always like it. It's a chance for me to learn more and more about tools that I can use and do use on a daily basis, and a lot of times discover some tools that are new and just came out. Kind of a quick overview of the calendar. So in January, we covered AI in 2025. So kind of did a quick recap of a few of the topics we talked about last year, and then showcase here's what is expected to come this year. And then we went into some live demoing. Last month, we covered Gemini for business accounts, which is definitely different than if you have Gemini on the personal front. So one of the things we talked about last time was the Gemini on the business piece is a lot more limited than if you're using Gemini from a personal perspective. They just haven't quite added a lot of the tools that they have for the personal side yet. And today we're going to be covering a number of different topics for specifically in what I'm calling an AI sort of mixed bag. Next meeting will be April 16th, another Wednesday next month. All right, so our agenda stays the same. We quickly remind on what we covered last time in case you're interested in finding that webinar on our website, and then we'll share some trending news, which a lot of times can contain stuff that we may not cover in a live demo, but I want you to be aware of because it would be something we'd probably talk about in the near future. And then we go through quick wins, which is going to be part of the live demo today. We try to leave time for Q&A if there is any. If you do have questions, again, feel free to throw it in the webinar chat, and Sebastian or myself will see it. So last time we covered Gemini Advanced. This is kind of what it looks like for folks that may not have been on there, or just a reminder. Again, this is a product that's a part of Google and the G Suite for businesses that use Google. again, it was great product. I think it's set up for a lot of success, I think, down the road. And we did that webinar last month. So if you're interested in checking that out, feel free to download or access that webinar on our website. All right, so some trending news, some really big things have happened. Which is interesting, right? Every time we get on one of these calls, it's like, hey, the last 30 days, the greatest things happened in AI, which I guess is why we do these. But some of the updates that in just literally 4 weeks, Grok 3 was released with deep research. So I think in our last call, they were close to releasing Grok 3. It may not have had released it to everyone yet. It is now available, and they have deep research, just like ChatGPT, which we're going to showcase both of those again today. Claude 3.7 was released, which is just essentially a new model. For those of you that have attended these AI Wisdom Wednesdays, we've done several demos of Claude over the last year. But basically, and I know it's probably a little small on your screen, but this far left bar here, Claude 3.7 is at 70.3% in terms of accuracy. So they're essentially showcasing from a software engineering perspective, it's outbeat their previous models and is beating some of these other folks in the market as well. We also saw in the last 30 days, OpenAI has made deep research free for Plus users. So what that means is we demoed deep research a little bit last time. We're going to do it some more today, now that it's available to Plus users. OpenAI and ChatGPT has changed their cost structure over the last 30, 60 days. They've got their free version, they have a Plus version, which is somewhere $20 to $30 a month. But then they have another version that's like $250 a month. So you previously had to pay, like $250 a month to get this deep research. That is now available for free for Plus users. So a great addition for those that may not be paying for that top tier plan. And OpenAI has also released Model 4.5. As you may recall from all of our conversations, when you're paying for some of these tools, you tend to get the earlier releases of the newer models, and then eventually over time they trickle those down to the free accounts while the newer models come out. But 4.5 is one we'll test and showcase today as well. All right, so some tools, little tidbits and things because of the mixed bag that I wanted to share. This one's actually kind of interesting that I just started looking into and using with the platform X, which is starting to grow in terms of some of the marketing capabilities. As you may recall, I use X and Grok, which is really XAI, the competitor to ChatGPT, to research trends, right? Because they're able to leverage the data, find all these conversations that are happening in real time. There's a developer that works at X who's launched something called X Deep Thought, powered off of what they're referring to as their social database, where you can actually create your account with your X username and find out who are your most who influences you. You can ask questions about that social database, and you get a lot of really good insights about your following. This is a screenshot that I took to just kind of show what that layout looks like. Again, the website is xdeepthought.com. Feel free to check it out if you're an avid X user. It's one to definitely follow, particularly the social database piece as well. A lot of really good insights on trends and things that you can find. But really, the biggest news that happened in the last 30 days is the launch of another Chinese-based AI product called Manus, which it has the ability to code, research, and execute tasks autonomously. Some of the things that they tout themselves as being able to do with their platform is sort of showcased here. I'm going to give an example of it here in a second. And I am going to try to play a video. I've never done a video on a Zoom, but it's only 4 minutes. I don't have access yet. We've reached out to try to get early access to Manus. Typically, they'll start to roll that stuff out slowly to people. As soon as we do, we'll likely do a webinar on this. Some people are saying this is much bigger than DeepSeek, and you're going to see why here in a second. Some of the benchmarking for this new platform, you can see here the black bars, Manus AI, how it ranks against other AI assistants essentially, and they're really kind of comparing to OpenAI's deep research that you see here in the sort of lighter gray middle bar here. So let me see if I can get this to play. So, and if you can't hear it, let me know.
Anything from Manus AI. For the past year, we've been quietly building what we believe is the next evolution in AI. Today, we're launching an early preview of Manus, the first general AI agent. This isn't just another chatbot or workflow. It's a truly autonomous agent that bridges the gap between conception and execution. While other AI stops at generating ideas, Manus delivers results. We see it as the next paradigm of human-machine collaboration and potentially a glimpse into AGI. Now, let me show you Manus in action across three completely different tests. Let's start with an easy one. In this example, we'll ask Manus to help string resumes. Now, just that Manus is in file containing 10 resume documents. Since each Manus session has its own computer, it worked like a human. First, unzipping the file, then browsing through each resume page by page, and reporting important information to documents. Manus works asynchronously in the cloud, which means you can close your laptop anytime, and Manus will notify you when everything is complete. Of course, you can also give Manus new instructions at any time. Here I've sent Manus 5 more resumes. After carefully reading all 15 resumes, Manus provides some ranking suggestions, along with candidate profiles and evaluation criteria as supporting materials. This is pretty good, but I prefer a spreadsheet. It's a Manus preview. Its own knowledge and memory. So I can teach Manus that the next time it handles a similar task, it will deliver a spreadsheet right away. In this example, what Manus conducts research. It needs to filter newer properties based on multiple criteria. For complex tasks, Manus first begins to create a to-do list. Manus begins by searching and carefully reading articles about the safest neighborhoods. Then Manus researches middle schools in New York. Next, Manus writes a Python program.
Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole video because I want to get to the live demo, but you can see this whole concept of agentic AI, which we talked about in the January AI Wisdom Wednesday, and that being really, Gartner saying the #1 trend this year in AI is going to be agentic AI, which is essentially agents, right? So these autonomous agents that are working with your prompts and requests to achieve tasks, okay? And that's really when you see the term deep research, that's really what it is at the end of the day. And I'll explain it when it's running. We do a live demo. But the reason this is such a big deal is that it's the first time that we really have something running, autonomously. So they mentioned in the video, you can close your laptop, come back, and it's there. It has the ability to work with, files off the computer. Again, it's Chinese based, and we'll sort of see what the reviews are of it from a data privacy security perspective. But so far in AI talk in the AI world, it is sort of blowing people away. So I would expect us to see ChatGPT, Grok, and others follow suit and continue to do things like this, where it's essentially making these really autonomous machines out of these platforms. So that's some of the trending news there. Again, this is what the platform looks like inside of Manus. I'll show what it actually looks like here in a second as well. But let's get to some of the topics. So hopefully that was interesting. We're going to learn more about that platform, and as soon as I get early access, we'll cover it in a AI Wisdom Wednesday. So the 4 topics we're going to cover, I want to do some deep research where we actually look at comparing the results from ChatGPT and Grok, now that they both have deep research, and now that you can access deep research as a Plus user on ChatGPT. I want to test some new prompts. It's been a while since we've gone back to look at, hey, what are some cool prompts that that are working and helpful to the everyday user. So I want to go back and look at some of those. It's been a long time since we created photos with Midjourney. So for those of you that attended that webinar, would have been in mid 2024, I believe, where we actually created a Midjourney account and created images. We are going to create some today. I want to show you basically how to take an image from the internet, have Midjourney describe that image, and then you can generate new images off of that to help you empower your website, your social media, to have real looking, high quality professional photographs. And then if we have time, we'll revisit the Claude knowledge base. I know we did it really fast last time, and if we don't get to it, no big deal. We'll cover it at some point on one of these Wisdom Wednesdays. All right, so always caution before we dive in. It's still the internet, so if something comes up that I can't control, sometimes these things can do that. Question everything when it comes to AI, right? So obviously the output is getting more and more accurate, but we still need to look at it and understand what it is we're putting in. treat your data like gold. I would never put, a spreadsheet of 100,000 records that are, real people, real things for my business in there. I would rather do some sampling and get what I need out of it that way. If you're ever in doubt, just close it out, and sort of look to what people are saying on the market, on conversations like this as well. Okay. And then the last thing, always do your best to try to find out where the data is stored. Companies do make it hard. They're supposed to put it in their privacy policy, but when it's a new tool, definitely try to go figure that out. This is one we shared when we covered DeepSeek a couple calls ago. But just check to see where your information is stored, so that way you at least know what you're getting into when you use these tools. Okay. All right. Fun time, live demo. So let me swap over to the other browser here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Leave it to Manus. Thumbs up. Yep. All right. So I just want to scroll down here, show you an example of what this Manus looks like. So here's an example. If you want to sign up to try to get early access, it's just manus.in. When you go to get started, it'll take you to the screen, apply for early access, and then they'll send you an email when you get access. But they have a couple of these examples to show you how it works for folks while you wait. Kind of like that video showed. Again, very much like deep research. You put in your prompt here at the very top. In this case, they're running through an SEO audit of a website to deliver optimized report with actionable recommendations. One of the sort of cons or downsides to Manus that we've heard from recent people using it is a little slower, but that's likely because it's using so many different agents at the same time, and will, I assume, get faster. But this is kind of what that looks like. Again, we're not going to be able to demo today because we don't have access, but I wanted you guys to know that this will be coming. Okay. All right. So some of the first prompts. Let's jump in. As a reminder, this drop down is where you get your, select different models. I typically always use the newest one, but when I'm working on stuff, unless it's really, really basic and I'm trying to pump out a bunch of things really fast because they do take longer, the newer models. So sometimes I'll jump back to like 4.0, which I think was historically one of the best models they've had. But the new ones just tends to be more accurate. Let me pull up my prompts here. So we're just going to start off with an easy one. I always use youth field hockey as an example because Danielle and our leadership team played field hockey, and it seems to be a sport that is easy to sort of train on. So for this, we're just going to say, show me some trending keywords searched in the past week that fall in the youth field hockey niche. We're not turning on search. We're not turning on deep research, as you can see here. And I just wanted to basically compare, so we can all kind of see the difference between how ChatGPT is going to do this versus Grok, and then we can all decide which one's better. So it's giving us, all right, good keywords for SEO. That's helpful. I'm really looking more for what are some trends that we could then turn into social media posts or maybe larger, deeper research studies, right, to create some reports for our website. So here's some cool links that he provided right here for you. Now let's ask that same thing in Grok. Again, we're not going to turn on deep research yet. When you're in Grok, they did release 3. So just like with ChatGPT, right here's where you can select your different models. 3 is much better than 2. I would say in terms of rate of improvement, Grok is crushing the market in terms of where they started and where they're at today, and would continue to see that get better and better. The downside to Grok right now is it does not memorize your inputs, where ChatGPT remembers, as long as you have that setting turned on, it remembers your past conversations. That is tremendously valuable. So when you want to rewrite an email, create a new marketing document, whatever it is, it's referencing prior conversations, whereas Grok is not able to do that today. So that will change, but just something to keep in mind. So let's check for some trending keywords. It's saying it doesn't have access to search engine. So kind of similar, very, very similar response, right? Okay, so always good to start off with a basic prompt. Now let's get into some deep research. I'll save the best one for last. Let's start by searching or asking this to search. Let's actually create a new thread here. I'm going to do deep research. And we're going to ask to search the web or X. Now, it said it didn't have access to the web, but we're still going to try it. Or X for up-to-date info on youth field hockey training for girls ages 6 to 18 years old. And while this is running, because these take a while, I'm going to do the same over here. So we'll get a couple of things going at once. Do deep research. Sometimes they'll ask good clarifying questions. Are you looking for general training tips, specific drills? Well, we'll say I'm looking for all of those things and in the Westfield, Indiana region. All right, now when we were talking about Manus earlier and this whole agentic, this idea of agentic AI, in a minute, once it starts working, ChatGPT lets you see what's happening on the side. Basically, what you were seeing in Manus is happening now, right? So behind the scenes, this is running a bunch of different tasks, with LLM to basically get the output for us, just like we saw over here in the Manus example. Let's check Grok. So this one's still thinking. So again, these do take a little longer for these deep research. We're at over a minute. But look at all the stuff it's pulling off of a very, very basic prompt. And again, this is new, deep research with Grok since our last AI Wisdom Wednesday. But it's going through Team USA, probably good place to look, right? National Field Hockey learning platform. So it's giving you the resources that it's using. So you know it's getting it from really good information. It's even grabbing an actual business out there to look at what they've been doing. And now we get a really good output here. That's really trying to help us figure out, what are some of the current up-to-date info around field hockey. So just scrolling that for you here so you can take a look. Let me see if I can zoom in. That might be a little better. Okay, so there's one. Let's see what I really like this output actually. Seems very current, which is what I would use Grok for. They should be able to tap into more conversations that are happening in real time, given the platform it's pulling data from. All right, now that this is working, you can see what I'm talking about in terms of the activity. So you can actually watch it as it goes through the different tasks. So this is agentic AI essentially, just in an LLM platform. But you can see it's reading Westfield Youth Sports. So our office is in downtown Indianapolis. I live in Westfield, so that's a real place. WYSI I know is legitimate. I did not know there's a field hockey place up there. So pretty wild to see. This one's already at 13 sources for its research. Again, we're just looking at one very simple prompt here, okay? All right, so maybe we'll stop this so we can keep covering some other stuff. But let's jump into another prompt. Let me see here. Let's do a niche. Let's do some business discovery. So one prompt that might be helpful is if you're running your business and you're looking for a niche, you just want to investigate, are there new opportunities that might be available for your particular business to maybe generate more money or whatever it might be. So let's create a new chat. Again, we're showcasing deep research here. For time, I'm going to copy and paste my prompt that I created ahead of time. So I want to get a suggestion on 5 profitable niche markets in youth field hockey coaching and training industry with low competition and high demand. Provide data or examples to support your suggestions. So let's see what this one does. We'll do the same thing here. I'm just going to get out of this, even though it was a good prompt. So what's interesting is you can also see here in this, let me get to it here, the pros and cons. One of the things they talk about is the deep research is much faster with Grok. So you're kind of seeing that in real time here. So we're getting much faster responses. That's because they just built, a 200,000 server, nuclear facility almost to run these processes, and ChatGPT being much slower. but ChatGPT does give good outputs. Let's just kind of wait here for a second. It's asking for region again. Region is Westfield, Indiana, and looking for all. Let's see what Grok's doing for us. See, we're already done here at 100 web pages, so definitely killing it on the just overall time for some of your tasks. So good to keep that in mind. But we're going to direct answer here. What are some niche training opportunities, things we could look at? This definitely makes sense in the space we're in. Mental training continues to be, climbing in terms of interest. So again, another example of what that output can look like. Okay. Maybe we'll let this one work a little bit while we do more prompts in Grok. All right, so another one we'll do is let's see if we can identify. Actually, I'll do one of my longer prompts since we don't have a ton of time. All right, this one's really long. We will post this afterwards. I just want to see what it ends up doing for us. So this one is an idea analysis prompt. So I want it to basically take an idea and let it know, hey, we're gonna start a brand new business. Like, what would happen if we just asked this idea prompt to help us create an entirely new field hockey training business? And it's gonna output and provide and look at an analysis for the business, the market potential, try to recognize patterns in terms of the trends in the space. What are some opportunities for us to look at? Visibility ranking. How can we enhance, the business model, whether it's market positioning or how we differentiate in what we sell? Start to look at, hey, are there partners or things we could do to create good synergies in the business, et cetera. And then it's going to provide a roadmap for how to achieve that. So this is my prompt here that is the idea for what I want, and we're just going to have it go through and do that. After this, we can also have it think. Let's see here. So it's smart enough to know, all right, well, if we're going to start a new business, we probably should start with demographics. Are there enough people there to even have a business? And you can kind of see what it's coming up with. It's pretty wild. This one's still going, so you can kind of tell there's a significant performance difference between the two. But I'm going to let this one keep going. And we'll give it a second. I'm going to check see if there's any questions. I'll get my next prompt ready. Well, we're not in Texas, so that's interesting. And New Jersey, I guess there's a Westfield, New Jersey, and a Westfield, Virginia. Okay, so it's grabbing some schools that may not be. Oh, there you go. It actually realized multiple Westfield high schools across states, so I need to focus on Indiana. I mean, it's pretty crazy. That's agentic AI. So this one's getting closer. Let's go back and check. Okay, here we go. There's moderate potential given the niche market and existing local interest. Evidence leans towards a viable market around 5,700 female athletes in that age range, with a potential participation rate of 1 to 5%. It's going to give us the market overview, feasibility recommendations, and now here's our comprehensive analysis of field hockey in Westfield, Indiana. Revenue streams, because I did ask it, told it I want it to be membership based. Patterns, again, we don't have time to read all these, but I mean, wow. We could all start this business together right now. And then it rates a summary of your metrics on a scale of 10. So you kind of can analyze this and decide, okay, well, maybe I need to make some adjustments to improve this business model. This one's still going, which is wild. I didn't think it would take that long. But we are using the newest model. I don't think it'd take this long if we were on 4.0, which we could try here in a minute. All right, so while this is going, I'm going to keep showcasing the next thing I wanted to cover, which was Midjourney. So if you're not familiar with Midjourney, we can we can help sort of showcase this. We have a webinar on our webinar page for AI Wisdom Wednesday that covers all the details of how to sign up, create your account. We're not going to do that today. I just want to show you some prompts. Okay. So I'm going to jump over to where Midjourney lives, which is in a platform called Discord, which I'll get right now. So let me show you this here. All right, you should be able to see it. I'm gonna get it going right there. Now I want to take an image. What I want to show you is if you're trying to generate professional photography, for your website or an ad or whatever it might be. I'm going to show you how to take an image and have Midjourney describe the image so then you can create images off of it. Okay, so I went and I have no idea who business this is, but I grabbed the picture. It's right here. You copy, just copy the image right here. Go back into Midjourney. Down in the prompt bar, we're just going to put describe. It's going to give us two options. We can link to an image or put the actual image. I'm just going to do a link, paste it in. I'm sorry, I actually want to do, see here, the image. Okay, so it grabbed it for me. Now I'm going to hit enter. And so what it's doing is analyzing that image to come up with 4 prompts that describe what it is it's looking at. Okay, so we've got 4 different prompts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could say, hey, I really like this prompt and I only want to generate an image off of that one. Okay, so you would just hit the number 2. If you want it to reanalyze the image, you hit this here and it'll reanalyze. But let's just imagine them all. And now it's going to take each one of these 4 prompts and create a set of 4 images for each prompt. So 4 times 4 in terms of your number of images. Some of them are going to be good, some will be bad, and then we'll just filter out the bad ones to create really good imaging. All right, so here's this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're already done. Let's take a look at some of them. All right, some of these aren't bad we could work with. Top left, you got to look for deformed, hands and things when you do images here, but I mean that's pretty good, pretty close. So what you would do here now is let's say we like maybe this this image here in the top left. We could create a variation of that image so that way it'll go through the process of trying to improve it. So let's do that. If we liked it, we would hit U1, and that's going to generate that image for us to grab. Here are the other ones that we generated off of that other image. This one's pretty good. That one's actually pretty cool. So again, some really cool images in here. Now here's an example of that variation image here. You can tell how high quality it is right now. I mean, it looks like a professional photographer took this. Here's another one. So a lot of things you can do here, but I wanted to just share quickly how to generate images for your website. There's really cool prompts. This is an actual Midjourney magazine. So if you go to midjourney.com or Google Midjourney magazine, it's $8. And they send you a magazine every month. And what's inside are basically all AI generated images with the prompts down here that will tell you what prompt was used to create that image. I get it because then I go through and I'll bookmark, a particular prompt or something I like, maybe natural lighting, the types of cameras that are used to be able to get different shots. So I highly recommend that. It's also a really good coffee table book. People find it pretty fun. But again, this is how you can generate images off of an existing image in the market to get really high quality professional photography that would otherwise cost you a significant amount of investment of time and money. Okay. Let's see if this is done finally, so that we can end on a ChatGPT one. All right, so remember we were looking at some niche parts of a market that are profitable to try to find out, hey, we want to add some of these to our current business model. And so you can see the output of ChatGPT is in my opinion, a little better, a little more detailed, but it took a long time to get here. We won't have time to go through all of it, but you can sort of see in here how they weave in all the sort of different sources throughout this research report. Strength and conditioning programs for field hockey. It'll give you very, very exact examples of how big that particular niche within field hockey or your business could be. And then we'll scroll down and it kind of summarizes it for you. So again, it's actually looking, it uses kind of that agentic AI on the right. You can follow it along. Here are all your sources. So if you want to go check out, where was it referencing stuff? You know your business best. So this is going to be the best way to make sure it's using the right sources. But I mean, this is phenomenal here. I mean, this would have taken, I mean, forever, in a business school setting. So really, really cool. I'll have a pause. I know we're at beyond 2 o'clock. Any questions, thoughts people have, feel free to throw them in there. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up and see you guys in the next Wisdom Wednesday.